that's done, I shouldn't die again. So, we're okay. Now we want to stay in the upper level here. By the way, have you noticed the music? It is incredible right now. It's nice, it's barely even music. You've got the light kind of humming, like, in the background. If you can hear that. But then you've got the boom, 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 which is kind of like a timer for the gravity to swap up and down. And it just is so, oh god, it's just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tense, but it just creates this kind of pressure that's building up to a great finish. And I always love that. When I played this for the first time, I got to this bit. Just that, the timer going off just amazed me. I loved it. Oh, damn it. And yeah, this could easily go wrong as well. If you mistime it, you could end up dead. And imagine if you gotten all the way here without any deaths. And then... and everything goes silent, and then... slow motion. I notice how his lights go off. I say his lights, but his eyes, I mean. It's just such a brilliant ending. And the saw's still going as well. But yeah, so notice how we're now straight back into the forest area. And I'll start to talk about theories now. And one of the theories is that... well, actually, no, not yet. I'll wait until the very end. And after the end, you end up... like, I'm going to tell you to look out for these things now. But after the end, you end up back on the main screen, but it's altered. And literally, at that point, I was just like, wow, and just sat there for 10 minutes. So, yeah. His limbs are a bit messed up, but it's okay, we're fine. The music is gone now. And at first you think you're dead. Like, I always thought I was dead. But press a few buttons. You can probably hear me smashing these buttons. This is probably why my direction pad's broken. But, come on, wake up. Eventually, his eyes should just kind of open. No. There we go. See? You can see him sitting back up. For the love of God, okay? It never took this long before. Is he falling back down? Yes. Okay. Now, I think he's finally hit the ground. Yeah, there are his eyes. Can you see them? There we go. Right. He's back up again. Now notice, I want to ask you and see if you notice anything. And tell me in the comments if you notice this before I tell you. If I run left, what do you see? Well, first of all, you know, we don't see the industrial setting. That's obvious. But what do we see here? It might not be that obvious because I didn't show you, but can you guess? Or can you figure it out? We're at the start of the game. We haven't like restarted the game, like we're still in our game, about to finish it. But this is the start of the game. This is what you see at the start of the game. You start off, wake up about here-ish, and then go right. I think little things are different, but it's pretty much the exact same at the very start of the game. And that is central to the whole kind of philosophy of the game, which I will talk about in a moment. Now, is there any way I can walk? I want to walk, not run. Hold on. Oh, fuck. I broke it. I can't do anything now. But yes. And there she is. Now, I'm gonna let you watch it, and then I'm gonna comment on it afterwards, okay? How's that for an ending? Pure genius on the part of Arndt Jensen, as far as I'm concerned. Like, now she doesn't look at him. He sees her, but she doesn't look at him. She kind of senses him there, and so there's loads of different interpretations. Now, if you noticed, hopefully you did before it was gone, we saw a log at the top and a ladder going up to it at the end there. And you can see in the background there, it's slightly changed, and that'll be what we'll see on our main screen now in a moment. So if we give us a moment, and then I'll go into a rant. I'd love to hear what you think about the game. Obviously, like, it'd be better for you to play it yourself, and I hope you do, because it's such an incredible game, and watching someone play it won't do it justice. Like, you have to play it yourself and be involved in the atmosphere. But yes, right. This screen right now is just so significant. So, I hope you've thought about what the word limbo means. You could interchange limbo, I suppose, with purgatory. And purgatory is basically, it's between heaven and hell. Like, I'm an atheist, but you know, purgatory is meant to be between heaven and hell. You are yet to be decided, and you're sort of stuck here. And in the Reformation, or before the Reformation, one of the key issues that Martin Luther had with the Catholic Church, was the selling of indulgences, which got you out of purgatory, basically. Less time in purgatory, and it was just money-making scheme, and this completely outraged Luther. So purgatory is basically a place where you're stuck between heaven and hell, and that's like the name of the game, essentially, but limbo. And so there are some theories. One theory, well, the general acceptance is that the little boy is in limbo. Like, that might be obvious even from the start, that he's in limbo. Like, he wakes up at the start, he wakes up at the end, and the first thing you see is start new game. And so it's this cycle that he is continuously to go through all these challenges, repeatedly die, repeatedly get injured. He's got to go through all these torments continuously, looking for his sister, yet he can never find her, because just before he reaches her, he starts it all over again. And if you notice in the main screen, I hope you have noticed it before I mention it now, but there are two swarms of flies, and beneath them are piles, more so on the left, but the piles aren't really what's important. What's important is that there are two groups of flies, and underneath where the flies are is where our boy and the little sister stood, if you noticed. And flies tend to swarm around corpses. So another theory is that, well, there are kind of different logical outcomes. The boy is almost definitely dead, and he's stuck in limbo and purgatory. The girl, however, we are unsure about. She might be alive or she might be dead, but I think this loading screen, or this main screen, would hint more so to the latter, that she's dead as well, that they're both dead. And some have said, if you look above, where some have said that's a treehouse, but others have said it's a broken car. And so some people have said the two died in a car crash in a forest, and that's what, at the very end of the game, the crashing through the glass symbolises, that the boy came out of the glass. And then my own opinion on that, I'm not sure where I stand on that, But if that's so, he comes through the glass and he lands and he looks around confused, and he looks for his little sister. Where's his sister? If he was in a car with her, where is she? So he goes off looking for her. But perhaps he's dead and she's alive and he can't find her in purgatory. Maybe it was his fault the car crashed and that's why he's stuck in limbo, searching eternally for his sister. He'll never be able to find her. And so then, in addition to that, the little boy, as I said, is almost certainly dead. And one thing that people have also said is that the little girl never looks at him. She doesn't see him, necessarily. The key word here is that she senses him. So if he's dead, he's kind of a spirit. The little girl is doing something with the ground. And so some people have said, and I think I agree with them, that she's burying the boy and digging a grave for him. And when he comes up behind her, she doesn't look around. She just kind of senses this presence of him, and he's continuously searching for her. Yet he'll never be able to find her, and she's like doing last rites and burying him. And perhaps then, I don't know, like if she's alive at that point afterwards, burying him, then she's almost certainly dead here on this screen with the 2 piles of flies. So perhaps she stayed here. Maybe that was a treehouse and she lived there because she couldn't get over the grief of her brother dying. And so, like, the ladder, as we see here, is decayed, so it's long out of use. But perhaps she lived up in that treehouse with the grave of the little boy underneath, and she eventually buried herself there as well. So there are loads of different theories, and all of which I don't necessarily agree with one single theory. I just kind of like that there's loads of theories, and I also like how almost the entirety of the story happens at the end of the game. Besides the little bit in the middle of the game where he almost finds his sister, but then gets the bug in his head. Besides from that point, there's literally no story, really. And I love that about it. It's like there's not a single word of dialogue, yet it tells this fantastic story that's all based on your own interpretation, your own opinion, your own view of things, which I think is great. And it's all these little subtle hints and things. And so some people have also said that to kind of give more weight to the car crash theory is that in the forest, when there were other human beings, they were or little boys, they were throwing wheels at you, and the wheels could represent the car, you know. So there's that as well. I'm trying to think if that's not all the theories there. There's the ones I know of, but I think that's most things. Yeah, the spider is meant to represent fear and all that jazz. But I just found it when I came back to this loading screen, I was just absolutely blown away by the ending, just how simple it is, yet how much you can get from it, and this main screen then, and just how fantastic and how subtle it is. And like, immediately all it is start a new game, and then you can load the different chapters. Like if I go quickly through here, you can see all the chapters you played through. See, there's the wheels there that the children threw at you. So, and then you go from the forest into the industrial setting. That's my own take, is like innocence going into experience. Like William Blake comes to mind, Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. They're really about something completely different that doesn't really concern us here. And like you can use it to represent the puzzles, working out what happened in his own mind, different things like that. So hopefully I've kind of like given you a taste for the philosophy of it, and hopefully you've enjoyed this Let's Play. I really apologise for the sound, and there's nothing I could do about it, and I'm really sorry about that. But I hope the last couple of episodes were better, because they should have been slightly better, but not necessarily that much better. But yeah, so I hope I've interested you in the philosophy of it and the theories behind it. And I hope, if you've never played this game before, and that you may want to play it, and if I've convinced you of that and I've done that, then I'm quite happy. So I hope you've enjoyed this, I hope you enjoyed the game, and if you do play it or have played it, I hope you have or will enjoyed it, and I will see you in my other Let's Plays. Thanks for watching very much. Thanks very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favourite, all that jazz. And thanks very much.